The epic conclusion that everybody is waiting for has finally arrived. Well, at least the conclusion has, not so much the epic. So The Rise of Skywalker brings back Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, and Adam Driver as the villainous Palpatine returns in this epic conclusion to the Skywalker saga. And a lot of people are excited to see how the Skywalker saga will end. A lot of people are curious to see how they handle Leia, how they handle Palpatine, who are Rey's biological parents. All, all answers we get in this messy, inconclusive film that I wish could have been better. Now, I am going to be staying spoiler free, so there's nothing spoiling in this review, but I'm going to be as vague as I possibly can. And this is coming from somebody who isn't really tied up with all the Star Wars films, who really doesn't know a lot, who didn't grow up watching the Star Wars movies. I barely watched the original trilogy and the prequels 2 years ago when Last Jedi came out, and so I'm not really the Star Wars aficionado that everybody is, but I do enjoy the films for what they are. And going into this movie, I was really excited because there was a time and point when didn't even care about Star Wars. I wasn't really that invested in it. And when they dropped that final trailer at the Monday Night Football back in 2015, and I remember going to the premiere of The Force Awakens, and I came out enjoying the movie as much as I did because I didn't know anything about Star Wars. I only knew the theme song and knew the characters, and so I came out really pumped about that movie. I went to go see it 2 more times in theaters. I've seen it a couple more times on DVD. And even within the first 20 minutes, you get a sense of what the movie had potential of being. But within those first 20 minutes, without giving anything away, they really do jump cut a lot of. They try to squeeze as much as they possibly can just to be on the safe side for this movie, because I know a lot of people are pissed off at Rian Johnson for what he did with The Last Jedi. And this movie really does feel like it was rushed into production when they removed Colin Trevorrow from the film, who was the original director, and they brought on J.J. Abrams because he was the safest bet from Rian Johnson. They really do a good job of trying to make a cohesive story, but it really does fall flat, and it just feels like there's just a bunch of fan service in this film from beginning to end. And there's a lot of unnecessary things that happen throughout the film that I just didn't really buy, and there are some bold moments that JJ does go in this film for. It really does fall flat, and I wish that it could have been done a lot better and handled completely differently, because there are some elements in this film that you had potential of exploring. It feels like they threw a lot of things to the ceiling to see what stuck, and they try to make a film out of that, and that really disappoints me because this could have been a really good ending to a new trilogy that has had a bumpy road, but I appreciate what they were going for, and I can give them credits for that. But I think the only positive that I have for this film, because without going in too much, I think everybody in the film did their part the best way that they possibly could with the material that they were given. Even though it wasn't the best parts, some characters were unnecessary and could have been dealt better. But I might go ahead and do a spoiler review when this weekend, just to get some of those criticism out of the way that I couldn't spoil in this review. But I think there are some positives. There aren't all negatives, but I think some of the cinematography was great. Some of the performances in the film were great, and I think another thing that really does hone this film down is he, we got a lot of cheesy dialogue and cheesy jokes that didn't work for me at all, and just made me want to scratch my head and wonder what they were thinking. But I think they were, with the material that they were dealt, I think there are some things here and there that could have been better. But Unfortunately, this isn't a movie that I'm going to be revisiting again because I really didn't like this film. If you enjoy this film, more power to you. But for me personally, I didn't really enjoy it, and I had a lot of high hopes for this film. And hopefully, that this new trilogy that they've got set up with coming out in a few years, hopefully that's a better cohesive. Hopefully, they have an actual plan for this, for that next trilogy, because it feels like this trilogy didn't. It feels what this trilogy feels. It feels like they had a plan, and then somewhere down the road, somebody went off the deep end and decided to go a different route, and now they have to find a way to tie everything up with a bow. And I really was bummed about that. So, final thoughts: it had potential of being a great film. Sadly, missed the mark on so many elements, which could have been better. But hopefully, that this next trilogy really does tie everything up with a bow. I'm going to go ahead and give The Rise of Skywalker a 4 out of 10. I was really hoping I was going to enjoy this film a lot more than what other people were saying, because a lot of people didn't like Glass. I enjoyed Glass for what it was, and this movie really didn't strike the chord that I wanted it to. But I know there are a lot of people out there that haven't seen it yet, so look forward to my spoiler review where I'm going to go in depth on some things that I enjoyed and some things that I really didn't enjoy. If you guys seen The Rise of Skywalker, let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Click a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and if you haven't seen my other reviews, go ahead and check that out. I have my rant for Black Christmas, and I have my Jumanji review up. Hopefully, or maybe not, I will see Cats this weekend. We'll see. If you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button, share it around, and until next time, this is Josie Reviews.